Welcome to the Long Road with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
What are we doing today?
Well, today we are going to share with you a what's for dinner. Well, that was the plan. It's a what's for dinner, but it failed because my meal plan completely failed when I had dental surgery. You'll see that in the video. All of a sudden, I had a toothache and I went to the dentist and they pulled 3 of my teeth. Ooh. And so I was in a lot of pain and I was taking medicine. So, we completely went off the meal plan because I couldn't even eat half of the stuff that I had planned. So stick around. You'll see about that. If you came here for the recipe that was in the thumbnail, the chicken and bacon pasta, that will be at the end of the video. We will put a timestamp right here on the screen of where we start doing the recipe. And if you came for just that and you don't want to see our what's for dinner, then go to that timestamp.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay, guys, this is our first night of our what's for dinner. This is Monday night. Joel had to work, so instead of cooking something else, I just pulled out the leftovers that we had of our chicken and gravy. As you can see, I don't have rice on the plate, which is what we normally pair with it. But I am trying to do things with vegetables more than things like white rice. But also, I was just being a little lazy because there's enough for one serving, which would be enough for our son, but not for me. And I could make some, but I don't want to. So I'm just being a little lazy. Anyway, this is just green beans that I got out of the freezer and microwaved and seasoned. And then the chicken and gravy. Okay, guys, this is Tuesday night. We went to Epcot. Why are we at Epcot?
The Flower and Garden Festival.
There you go. And I got a crawfish pie, and he got a gumbo, but we'll probably share a little bit with each other. So for dinner tonight, we're having hamburgers. See? There's Joel's plate, homemade french fries, and a hamburger. He doesn't go to, he doesn't put a lot on it. It's like, what, mustard and pickles? Mm-hmm. Okay. And, I'm trying to replace carbs with more vegetables, so I just deconstructed half of one of those hamburgers because it's gigantic, put it on a sweet potato, and threw some green beans that I had in the refrigerator on the side. And that is dinner tonight.
All right, guys, today's Thursday, and Chrissy had her dental surgery today, so she's not talking. And so this is what we have for dinner. Chrissy had a chicken and dumpling soup from Firehouse Subs with some oyster crackers. And I went to Culver's, got a double butter burger with cheese, mustard and pickles only, and some pretzel bites with some cheese dip. And that's what's for dinner.
So this is Friday night, the day after my dental surgery. As you can tell, I'm talking again, but barely, because my jaws feel really tight. But anyway, I still can only eat soft food. I can eat soup, but it can't be hot. So I have to let this sit here until it's cooled down. But hopefully I'll be back to myself tomorrow and feel like cooking and stuff like that. Because Joel grabbed me this on his way out of work, but I guess he didn't want me to have to cook for them. So he ordered himself pizza. So that should be delivered pretty soon. And as you can see, pizza, and he bought 2, so it looks like they're having that for lunch tomorrow too. Yep. This is Saturday night. Because I had dental work earlier in the week, y'all know that from the last 2 nights, I'm still eating kind of soft foods. Basically, I had a hamburger from, I think it was that we made them the night before the dental appointment. And I still had one left. I just took a chunk off of it, see? And I heated that up while scrambling an egg. So that's what I'm having tonight. I think I had, I added a little mozzarella in there. I was gonna use cheddar cheese, but I didn't have any thought out. So mozzarella is the way I went with that. And if I'm still hungry when I'm done, I'm going to pull this back out of the refrigerator, the snack pack, and hopefully that'll do it. The soft foods, one of my main things when I realized I couldn't eat anything hot was, oh no, what does that leave? not a lot, but I decided, I'll just have to let these scrambled eggs sit until they stop smoking. And then hopefully that'll be enough for me. If not, like I said, I'm going to grab one of these snack packs because, again, I have to go with soft foods right now. Okay, so this is Sunday night, last night of our What's for Dinner. This is Mother's Day, so Joel took me to lunch.
Yep.
And there was this big mix-up about the potatoes, like as in I ordered a sweet potato, but the kitchen staff didn't bring out the sweet potato. So then we said something to the waitress, and she was like, "Oh yeah." So she comes back and she brings a regular white russet potato out, and she could tell from my face that something was wrong, and she was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "It's supposed to be a sweet potato." Yeah. She still looked confused, and I said, "I don't know, it just looked like a baked potato." And she was like, "Oh, right." So she went and got me a sweet potato. So we ended up with, because she brought out the baked potato, she couldn't take it back. So we brought it home. And I'm eating that with some chicken and broccoli. And Joel had baby red potatoes, cut up, broccoli, and chicken. And he has a roll. I don't have a roll on mine. There you go.
All right.
Did you get some more?
Yeah.
All right, so that is dinner for tonight. All right, and that was the end of our What's for Dinner. Hope that made sense to you, why we went off of the rails, so to speak, on our meal plan. But we have since jumped back on our meal plan without any problem. But anyway, now we are transitioning over to our chicken bacon ranch pasta bake recipe, starting now. Okay guys, we are sharing a recipe with you today. This is going to be a chicken and bacon pasta recipe. Joel's already boiling the pasta for me. And I'm going to be making a cheese sauce first. Wow, I didn't know I would have trouble with those words. Cheese sauce. All right, we're starting off by melting 3 tablespoons of butter, and as soon as we get that melted, we will be adding flour, and we'll show you that when I get this melted. And we're adding in 3 tablespoons of flour. And we're going to quickly be stirring that around. We're going to make it into a roux, what it's called. And it's just kind of like a paste. You don't want to let this brown, according to the instructions. Though, if you were making a roux like that goes into Cajun food, you would actually be looking for it to get a red tint, a reddish brown tint. But in this case, apparently you're not wanting it to get brown. So we've got that done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start slowly adding in a little milk. First we're going to just do a little bit. We're going to take our whisk . Okay, and we got see, it's almost not liquidy anymore. It's gotten kind of fill up that way. So now we're going to continue adding a little more milk and stirring. So after we got all the milk added and we're looking for it to look kind of smooth and glossy. Then we took it off the eye because it said to remove it from the heat. Now we're adding salt. It says 1 teaspoon. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna do a little bit. I don't want to make it over salty. If you know us, I try to reduce the sodium in any recipe in a little way. Anyway, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. You can use ground mustard or Dijon mustard, but we are using Dijon because we have that already. It also calls for nutmeg as an optional ingredient. We don't have any nutmeg, so I didn't see any point in buying that if it's an optional ingredient. So, but if you have nutmeg, then give her a try. Now, next thing we're gonna do is we're adding in 2 cups of shredded cheese. It says to use a strong cheese, and so this is sharp cheddar, so that's what we went with. So now it says to mix that cheese in until it's melted. Okay, so another thing that you're supposed to do while the pasta is cooking is cook some bacon in the skillet. And then after you've cooked it, then you just remove the bacon and you're gonna dice it. But we already had cooked bacon at our house. But so we just used some bacon grease that we had in the refrigerator and put that in the skillet. The next step after you remove the bacon was to add the chicken and some corn. So that is leftover chicken from a whole chicken that we made. You could use rotisserie chicken, but we use that so we can stretch it more meals. The whole chicken, we get to eat on it that night, plus we had leftovers for this recipe. It took all of it to make a pound of chicken. The sweet corn, it just said to drain it before you put it in the skillet. I think we're going to have to add a little more of that bacon grease to it. Oh, you know what's interesting? It actually doesn't say to ever remove that bacon. So I guess if you were making it by frying bacon first, you would still have the bacon in there. You would also have onions in there, but we don't use onions, and so we skip that step. But apparently you don't remove anything at any point. All right, so when you're done with this part, should we put our diced bacon in there since we... Okay. Okay, so we decided since we weren't supposed to remove the bacon, that we would add the bacon that we did already have cooked into it. So it'll go ahead and heat that up a little bit. So our next step after we get that just a little cooked, you know, you're not trying to fry it or anything. You're just wanting, I guess, give it a little heat. Is we're going to put that in the cheese sauce that we've already made. Okay, so we added the corn and the chicken and the bacon into our cheese sauce and mixed it around. And then it says to add the pasta into that. We feel like that's going to overfill the skillet. So what we're going to do is we just went ahead and put it in the baking dish. And then we're going to mix it together in the baking dish. There we go. And now we're just going to mix it together there. Okay, now we're adding a little Parmesan cheese on top, just a little sprinkle. Also, we were supposed to put parsley, fresh parsley in the recipe, but we didn't buy any. And what we're doing instead is just sprinkling a little dried parsley on top. Dried herbs are generally speaking much cheaper than buying fresh, and they last a long time, so you don't have to worry about them going bad. So a lot of times we just don't buy the fresh, and we'll just sprinkle on some dried or something like that. Or if you do it like this in your fingers, it'll give it a little life. But also adding in a little black pepper. We forgot to add that parsley in at the step that we were supposed to, which was while we were mixing all the other ingredients together, just because that's who we are. We kind of are following the recipe, and then we kind of forget what we were doing, and we like skip over lines in the recipe, and all of a sudden we skip something that was supposed to be done. But anyway, that is all of that. And do you cover it, or you don't cover it? You go straight into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes until the cheese is bubbling and golden brown. And All right, and that is the recipe. This is not our recipe. We used somebody else's that we found on Pinterest. We will be sure to link the recipe down in the description. So if you want to see how to make it, you can check out the description and find that link there.
Just comment below if you have a recipe you'd like us to try. We don't necessarily try everything. If we don't try it, then we will link a video for someone else who has done it so you can actually see it done. But drop us those comments in the comment section below. But that's going to do it today. For the Long Road, Joel and Christy, I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
Don't forget it's the long run and give yourself a little grace.